who are some players that haven't played much or at all in 2024 that Jay and I are looking forward to seeing or hoping we can see in the final 2 games? Let's discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Jay, who is somebody that hasn't played a whole lot for the Oklahoma Sooners that you're hoping you get to see over the final 2 games?
I'm probably going to go to some of the younger guys, but honestly, I want to see some more of the defensive line guys. I want to see some Nigel Smith. I want to see some Daniel Koye. I'm ready to see those dudes show up. I'm ready to see what they have to offer for the rest of the season. I know that they're both, I know they're talented. I know the defensive line is very talented. The defensive line going forward is probably one of the more talented rooms we have. And the best part about it is that we stacked very heavily on that 23 class and 24 class. So we've got a combination of dudes, but the ones that just came in with Stoney and all of them, they're the future for the next 3 years. And you're going to get 3 to 4 years out of all of those dudes. So we've got it up until about 27, 28 with more guys coming behind them to help out. So I'm pretty stoked to see what Nigel and all of them looks like over the next couple of games. I'm hoping we get to see more run. I know that they're still bulking up and getting, their skill set down, but man, I'm ready to see how SEC ready they are.
It's been an area of a strength for the Sooners.
Yeah.
The defensive line has been so good, and you aren't necessarily going to take a bunch of guys off the field, but if you have an opportunity to get Nigel Smith and Danny Okoye on the field, Wyatt Gilmore, Ashton Sanders, Marcus Strong, get them on the field a little bit more, even if it's just for a series, half a series, get them a handful of snaps. That's beneficial. Just getting a feel for the game, getting to sit and play in a college football environment, hearing the roar of the crowd, getting juiced up a little bit and getting to get out there and run and stretch your legs. Taylor Wine, another one of those guys that has not played a whole lot, but has plus ability and somebody that can help you as part of at least the rotation down the road. Get some experience for those guys. Get them an opportunity to get on the field. Again, everything's going to be earned, but that's a great opportunity. I'm going to get pretty obvious here. Eddie Pierre-Louis, Isaiah Autry-Dent, got to see those guys. Maybe they don't start. Maybe they don't play more than half the snaps, but you got to play them. I think you got to play at least 20 snaps for each of those guys in each of the final 2 games.
Yes.
Again, it's about just getting experience.
That's the most important thing is you need these guys to get them prepped for next season. We're on to 2025. We're on to Cincinnati, like Bill Belichick says. We are looking forward. And that's the thing that we need to focus on. We don't need to sit here. I mean, great. I want us to go to a bowl game. I like to go 6-6.
Yeah.
Get an upset. Finish the season strong. That would be awesome. While at the same time, I want to see some of these young players start playing because these are the guys that the whole reason why we started taking these larger recruiting classes was to get players like this. Brent Venables wanted players like this so that Oklahoma can have a foundation of guys that we can not only have play together, but develop and be able to grow together. The offensive line works so much better when you have dudes in your program 2 to 3 years and they've been playing together. Unless you can find some dudes in the portal that are ready to just strap up and go. It's hard to find those players. There's not very many of them. You can occasionally get those at JUCO, but you still need to have that chemistry and cohesion in order to be able to make that happen. So to me, the best bet is to go ahead and start getting those guys opportunity to play. So yeah, I agree. Give me some EPL with some Isaiah Autry-Dent on the right side, like give Waywoo some rest. Keep Heath Uzeda on the left with Logan Howland and make that your offensive line and see what happens with Troy Everett and see if those 5 dudes can make that happen. Granted, that's your 11th configuration in 10 games, but
let's go for a record.
Let's go for it. Let's see if we can get a configuration every single week for the rest of the season.
Right.
And just say that we only had 2 games all season long where we had the same configuration. That would be awful to say, but at the same time, amazing to see that we were able to do it.
Yeah, the only consistency this year has been the inconsistency of who we've had
Exactly.
available up front. Another name I want to throw out there, Davin Mitchell. Let's get him on the field. I want to see the 4-star tight end. I know maybe he's not ready to play, but get him on the field in some passing concepts. Get him on the field and just, hey, let's see what you can do in the route concept. Let's see what you can do as a pass catcher. You don't have to have him block.
It's true. Just go and see if he's as athletic and as good as we've heard, with him. And I guess we're going to have to have the conversation about the elephant in the room for the Oklahoma Sooners is who the heck's going to be the quarterback going forward. I mean, you got to bye weeks. Luckily, everybody's going to get themselves rested and figure it out. But at the same time, that's going to have to be addressed. We'll save that for next week.
Yeah. I think they should have an open quarterback competition at this point.
Yeah.
Xavier Robinson, should he play in either of the final 2 games or should they redshirt him?
That's the tough part. Do you want to go to a bowl game or not? And I think that hinges on him playing. And it's most likely if I was to play him, it's probably going to be LSU. That will be the game I'll play. I think LSU is the most winnable game out of the last 2. Even though it's on the road, I think it's the most winnable game. Because I think Alabama's starting to ascend, but you can go out there and be competitive against Bama and mess things up. It's all about Jalen Milroe. How do you contain him? And since we are number 2 in defensive rushing efficiency right now in the SEC, Oklahoma Sooners defense is definitely at the point that we would like it to be. I think we're 44th in pass efficiency in the country, like kind of middle of the road in passing. So if that's what we're going to be, John, I think the LSU game is probably the most likely game that we can potentially win. And then you want Xavier just running down it, though. Him and Taylor Tatum, just have them run the ball nonstop.
Yeah. And you could have Javonte Barnes back for Alabama and for LSU. I mean, he's going to have 2 weeks to rest and make sure that ankle is right before getting back on the field. If you have him back, maybe you don't have to play Xavier Robinson either the final 2 weeks and you can save his red shirt. But I'm of the mind, get your really good player out there so that you can use him in helping your offense get better.
True.
I want to see, listen, we've seen really, really good things out of Jacob Jordan. And so we got to see more. We got to just see him out on the field. I know he's at that red shirt threshold too. The next game he plays burns his red shirt. But honestly, let him play. He's going to be, he's been one of the better and best bright spots that you've had all season long.
No, I agree with you there. I think you play him. I think it depends on the quarterback because it seems like Hawkins had a different relationship with different receivers. I feel like Jacob Jordan and Jackson Arnold had a connection. And it feels like actually Hawkins was throwing it to either Hester and Kearney a lot more when he was playing. So I think it depends on if you play Jackson Arnold, you got to play Jordan. Just let Jacob Jordan burn the red shirt, screw it, get the guy on the field, make it happen. Because one snap is still pretty ridiculous in my mind, just like it was for you against Missouri. But if you're going to play Michael Hawkins, make sure you have Zion Kearney with J.J. Hester, put Brennan Thompson in the slot. And if Burks is playing, which I guess it appears he possibly is, if he decides to, go ahead and play those 4 and boom, and try to open up the offense as much as possible.
Yeah, there's no reason not to play Zion Kearney and Ivan Carrion very much, there's no reason not to play him a bunch in this game. You've already burned the red shirts. You can red shirt them next year. When you have Jaden Gibson and Jaleel Farouk and Deion Burks and Nick Anderson all back, you can red shirt all those guys that you probably plan to red shirt this year. You can do it next year and still have that flexibility moving forward. But now's the time. Now's the time to get some of these guys some experience. Just let them get a game feel. Let them get out there and hit somebody that's not on their team. Let them go try to catch some passes. Let them see if they can do something. Because remember, we didn't know we knew who Jacob Jordan was. We didn't know what he was capable of until he got out on the field and he actually got an opportunity. Now, I'm sure he earned that opportunity because of what he's done in practice, but I'm sure that there are guys out there on the practice field that are playing good ball that just need an opportunity to play on the field. So some guys rise to the occasion. They play better when they get into live game action than what they do on the practice field. So now's the time. Unload the clip. Just throw everything up against the wall and see what sticks moving forward. We're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into Jackson Arnold and his season. Just how bad has it been?